the questions. So one of the questions is how quickly can we assess our pipeline and then step through as many variations as we can think of. Something that I like to encourage people to consider is using a matrix report. Aside from having sort of a cool name, it really gives us a great bird's eye view of what's going on in the system. You can see here in the screenshot that I've grouped by industry. I'm grouping rows by industry, and I'm grouping the columns by stage. I've also filtered this report to only show open opportunities. Another variation of this same thing would be to look at this by sales rep. And you might need to make a decision, especially during this time, on, does one sales rep stay? Does another one not stay within the company? You might consider what they have in their pipeline, where they are with their progress in sales as part of that decision. I've also added in conditional formatting here. This is a feature that as soon as you add your first grouping on a report, down in the bottom right-hand corner. So if you add your first grouping and then you do at least one summary row. So in this case, I've added my first grouping on industry, and then I've also summed the amount. And that's revealed the conditional formatting down in the bottom right-hand corner. And you can have up to 3 different summary columns with these colors. They don't have to be red, yellow, green. You can choose other colors. I've just left them red, yellow, green. But it's kind of a powerful way to look at a system. On the reports tab in Lightning, if I go ahead and click the new report button and create a new report on opportunities, so I'm choosing this report type. There are quite a few others, and we'll talk about other ones in the list during this session. But for now, I'm just going to choose opportunities, click continue. I can come in here and just clean up my filters quickly. And what I want to look at when I look at open pipeline is all close dates stretching out into the future, and then opportunity statuses of open. Now that I've cleaned up my filters, I'll go to the outline tab. I'm going to sum the amount column, and then I'm going to add my first grouping. And as soon as you add your first grouping, a couple things happen. So the add chart button wakes up at the top. As soon as we add our first grouping, down at the bottom, the toggle switches become active. Because I've added a grouping and I have at least one summary column, the conditional formatting option is here as well. I'm going to go ahead and just group by columns now. And this is how we create the matrix report. And this is feeling a little bit busy. I'm gonna hide the row counts. And I'm going to go ahead and run this, and we can see by industry what the dollar amounts by stage are. I can go ahead and save this, and maybe I come back in here, edit the report, create another variation of it. Maybe this one, I'll create a variation by sales owner. So the opportunity owner, and I'm going to remove the industry in this case. And maybe I run it and look at each of my sales reps the same way. Maybe I want to look at sales region. Maybe I want to look at some other thing of it, like new versus renewals. So it's a really nice way to just get a bird's eye view. If you have a brand new head of sales, this is the thing I'd want to have on their desk the first day they show up, because they're going to want to know what's open. So I think this is a really nice sort of powerful tool. 2 other things to point out. In the Lightning reporting, when you've run the report, a feature that a lot of people often miss is that you can actually click on one of these. So I'm looking at Bruce Kennedy's under needs analysis. I can click on that, and the data is filtered down below for Bruce Kennedy and needs analysis. I can go ahead and click clear to undo it. I mentioned conditional formatting. If I wanted to add conditional formatting, I could come back into the edit environment, click on conditional formatting, add a conditional formatting rule, and I could specify. So let's say that if it's below 1.5 million, it should be red, and if it's below 2.5 million, it should be yellow. Looks like that's orange, but I won't argue. Let's go ahead and click apply, and you can see this is immediately added. I do want to encourage one last thing. This is the preview pane. Do not make business decisions based on the preview pane. Go ahead and run the report, and you'll see the actual data being displayed. So it actually wasn't that much different. But this person admin user is just red all across. they probably shouldn't own any opportunities. But if I look down, I can start to see patterns in the data.